Hello, hello. What is going on, everybody? Shane here. Excited to be back with you for another Flip Lifestyle Community Q&A. Pumped up to hang out with you guys for a little while and answer all of your questions about online business. I'm just setting up my do not disturb. I'm making sure my chat box is open. And like all of you should be doing right now, I'm making sure mine says panelists and attendees. Panelists and attendees, you want to make sure that you are not just talking to panelists, because if you do that, you're going to be talking to just me. You won't be able to hang out with everybody in the Flip Lifestyle community. So make sure you switch over to panelists and attendees so you can talk in the chat box. Also, don't forget, if you want to ask a question, I'm giving everybody just a few minutes to get in here. All you have to do is hit the Q&A button. If you're on a phone or an iPad or a desktop, I already see a question from Beth. You guys are getting good at this. So make sure that you go ahead right now and submit your questions. Anything you need help with, whether it's online business, life in general, whatever you want to talk about today on this Flip Lifestyle member call, we will be doing that soon. We're going to be going until about 1:15 or 1:30 or so. Jocelyn and I are heading out of town. We're going to Tennessee this weekend for just today and tomorrow. Anna Joe has a cheerleading competition, so I'm going to be cheerleading it up for the next few minutes or a couple days, and we're going to be excited about that. But we've got to get on the road. We got to go. It's raining, and I'm going to drive, so we got to drive in the rain. But I do want to answer all of your questions, and I want to make sure that I get those ahead of time. So make sure that you drop your question in the chat box right now. Also got a couple more announcements here. Let me pull up this other screen real quick while we're waiting for everybody to get logged in. We got some emails out right now to tell everybody the call's starting. Let me know who you are and where you are from. I will read a couple of those in just a second. So who you are, where you're from, let me know that. I want to make sure that I recognize you and where you are from, and ask your questions in the chat box of my team. If you guys could go ahead and make that announcement in there as well. I'm trying to pull up a page that I made the other day because I want to make sure that I share the right page for this thing. Here we go. Here it is. All right. I got some jazzy music. I don't know if you guys know this. I wear these headphones even though nobody's talking to me on these member calls. The main reason I do that is because I got some coffee shop music playing whenever I'm hanging out with you guys. I've got like this chill music in my background, and then it has like sounds from a coffee shop. That's how crazy I've went this year in the pandemic when I couldn't go to coffee shops to work anymore. And I now I just sit and I relax and I just chill and I just chill. I just chill out. And I'm like, hey, and it sounds like there's people around me. you got to get creative during a global pandemic. All right, guys, good to see Brooke from Oklahoma. Saw that Robin was preparing for Snowmageddon. I saw that on the news. You guys are about to get a massive blizzard or something like that. We got Beth from Tennessee. We've got Carrie in Northeastern Kentucky. We got Shelly from Arizona. We got Damien from California. We got Paul from Nicholasville. We got Matt from Houston. We got a bunch of people in the house today. If I missed anybody, sorry about that. Want to make a real quick announcement before we start the Q&A. Hey, I've only got one question, guys. You're being shy on me today. Now, there's a bunch of you in here. So what do you need help with your online business? Go ahead and hit that Q&A button and ask your question now. I want to get about 5 or 6 of those ready to go. There's 3. Keep them coming. Want to get a bunch of questions in there. You might be typing those out. Also, I want to hear everybody that hears my voice right now. What was your biggest win from last week? You can post that in the chat box. So go ahead and share your biggest win. My team is going to copy those and put those in the Q&A for me. And we're also going to take a quick screen grab of those too so we don't miss any. But tell me your biggest win. Everybody here, what's your biggest win over the last couple weeks in your online business? Did you make some sales? Did you get some emails? Did you make some content? Did you finally finish a project you've been working on? I want to read and celebrate your big win on air so that everybody in the community can celebrate with you. And I want to answer all of your questions. So go ahead and put your questions in there right now. Answer those questions and we will get that started. And do have a big announcement. We got a new program coming out on April 28th. We're going to be opening that up, and we are going to be setting up a waiting list for that soon. I'm going to share that in the chat box. It's called flipped lifestyle life groups. Now, one of the biggest things that we always hear from you guys in the flipped lifestyle community is, I wish I had a mastermind. I wish I had people that got me. I'm surrounded by people. They don't understand online business. They don't understand the dream. They don't understand creating a work at home business where you can be location independent and be self-employed. Nobody gets me. I just wish I could find a mastermind. And Jocelyn and I can tell you that masterminds are probably the biggest reason we are where we are today. Almost every good thing that's happened to us has been because of a relationship in a mastermind setting. And what we wanted to do, we've always wanted to do this, is bring masterminds to the flipped lifestyle community. Now, what is a mastermind? A mastermind is a small group. Like, think about your small group at church, right? Your life group, right? So we're calling them life groups. But it's a small group of people, like-minded people, family-focused entrepreneurs in groups of 8 to 10 people, where you come together weekly and you meet and you share wins and you share losses and you encourage each other and you hold each other accountable in a mastermind setting. And it is a group of people you are truly committed to, right? Like, I'm showing up Monday at 12 o'clock. We're all going to meet. We're going to go through hot seats where each week we talk about what's going right, what's going wrong, and we help each other. We pool all of our resources to make sure that things are going in the right direction. And a mastermind group differs from a community because, it's like, think about church again. You go to church, you're sitting in the big auditorium. There's 1,500 people in there. But in your mastermind, in your small group, you really meet, you really go deep. And that's where you get a lot of authentic community, a lot of authentic accountability, and all those cool things so you can really take everything to the next level. So we're going to be adding a tier to the Flipped Lifestyle community on April 28th called Flipped Lifestyle Life Groups. Now, Jocelyn and I are hand selecting and hiring mentors, facilitators for these groups to lead them properly. Like, Jocelyn and I have been in masterminds for almost a decade now. We know exactly what it takes to have an amazing mastermind experiences that can 2x, 5x, 10x everything you're doing in not just your business, but also your life, right? Getting that personal health, mentally, physically, spiritually in order, getting those relationships organized with your family, with your friends, with your acquaintances, growing your network, really being on mission, really having a passion, and really tying all those things together to have true work-life harmony that we call the flipped lifestyle. So we're really excited about those groups, and they're going to be absolutely amazing. The cool thing is, it's going to be another tier of the community. We're going to be leading that group. I'm going to be leading that all the life groups together, and we're going to have hand-picked, vetted, hired facilitators to make sure they run smoothly and efficiently. And it's going to include everything inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. So when you upgrade to a life group, not only are you going to get a weekly mastermind, not only are you going to get everything that's included in the life group session, but you're going to get everything else in the community as well. So I dropped a link. If you want to be on the waiting list, if you want to be the first, if you're interested in having a mastermind, who here wants a mastermind? Who here wants a mastermind done right? Not just a bunch of people hanging out who are halfway committed and don't show up and all that nonsense, but people who are actually bought in to the mastermind, people who are actually all in on their online dream and who are ready to build that work-life flipped lifestyle and go to the next level. If you're ready for that, man, just let me know in the chat box if that sounds exciting to you, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in. We will be launching with 2 groups. They're going to be male and female groups. So we're going to have a guys group and a ladies group. So everybody can really just be open and comfortable in these group masterminds. We're only going to have 2 groups. Those first 2 beta groups are probably going to last a month or 2 before you can get in. I can tell you right now, at last count, I got about 60 people interested and have reached out to me already for those very limited spots. There's only going to be 10 spots for the men's group and 10 spots for the ladies group. So you want to be on that waiting list. I just dropped it. I'm going to drop it in the chat again. I'm going to put life groups waiting list. And I'm dropping that in the chat box right now. Go put your name and email in. If you're serious, go put your name and email in if you think you would love to have a mastermind group that you could be a part of. And we are going to help you facilitate that. And hey, listen, our goal with the Life Groups program is to create the biggest testimonials that we've ever had come out of the Flipped Lifestyle community. Testimonials financially in their work, testimonials financially in their personal development, and testimonials in their relationships and their network. We want all of that to be all encompassing in the life groups. We've been working toward this program for almost 8 years, trying to be able to offer this. And I think we're ready to do it. And we're really excited about it. So cool stuff. All right, let's jump into the Q&A. Got a bunch of questions over here ready to go for the Q&A session of today's member call. And our first question comes from Beth. Beth says, would it be appropriate to discuss my recent first month dollar promotion as outlined in the Membership Masters newsletter? Well, of course it would. That's why we're here, Beth. Everything's appropriate here. We're in it together. Whatever you want to talk about, we will talk about today. Listen, the conversations I'm having with my kids lately, because they're 10 and 12 and their friends are starting to say stuff that I don't want them to hear, I can talk about anything at this point in my life. So yes, anything is appropriate for sure. All right, I gained 5 members with the promotion. Awesome. I have all the stats and would love some feedback on what to improve next time. Okay, what kind of stats? Okay, so basically Beth did a promotion from the Membership Masters newsletter. She got 5 new members. That's absolutely amazing. Our goal is to give ourselves a raise every day. You know, if you got $100 a month membership, every time you give yourself 5 members, that's $500 raise. You can't do that in a 9 to 5. You can't walk into your boss's office and ask for a raise, right? So awesome. Congratulate. Don't ever say I only gained 5 members. Like if you were in this room with me, this is like a 12 by 10 room or something. I don't even know how big it is. But if you were in this room with me and there were 5 other people in here with me and they were members of my community, I would never say they were only 5 members. That's 5 human beings with families and dreams and hopes and things that they've come to you for answers and solutions. So we celebrate every single person, and you should too. That is an amazing job that you got 5 members with the promotion. Now, what I sense is that you hoped that the promotion would be better. You're not saying, oh, I only got 5 people. You're saying, oh man, I thought I was going to get 15. That feels like what you're talking about here, Beth. So if I'm wrong, tell me in the chat, but it sounds like you were hoping to get a few more members. Now, we compare membership marketing to the stock market. You know, for those of you who invest in the stock market, you will know that out of 365 days in the year, you're only going to make moves. You're only going to make gains. Okay. I see that. I'll bring that up, Beth, on the next thing. You're only going to make gains on certain days of the year. And what we're trying to do in our promotions is we're trying to be in the market every day so that we're there when the people go. So while you may have gotten 5 this time, the next promotion next week might get 20. And all of the things you're doing are adding up together to make more members. We were just talking about this in our ad meeting this morning, where we were looking at the customer life cycle of someone who had purchased, and we had noticed that they had been to one page and they had been through another funnel and they'd been through the ads funnel and they'd been through all these funnels, but finally they joined through the email list maybe. And we were like, but the life cycle, the touch point of the ad, the touch point of the email list, the touch point of, the touch point of going to your website, listening to the podcast, all that adds together to equal a member, right? Ad money doesn't always add up exactly to what you spend is what you get. There's ways to focus on that and try to make that happen, but it's not always going to add up perfect. So I'm going to go into the example that she dropped in the chat. All right, I got 5 people. They're not dollar sales. They're not dollar trials. She said she spent about $500 on ads and she got 5 new members. Okay. Now here's how you have to think about that. And here's where you have to know your numbers, Beth. When we look at free trials, we know that we can recover, and I'm going to use a little bit rounded numbers here so it makes it easier for me to discuss it. I know that if I get 2 free trials, I can probably keep 1 member. Okay. I know that if I keep 2 free trials, I can keep 1 free member. Or 1 member. And I know that my average monthly member might be worth, we'll say $1,000. If I go lifetime value of a customer, I know it's like $1,000, right? So I didn't get a free trial. I got half of $1,000 member, because if I get 2 free trials, keep 1, and every 1 person's worth $1,000. That means if I get 2 free trials, that's worth $500. Are you with me? Is everybody with me? Tell me if you're with me in the chat box. Everybody with my numbers? Because I had to explain this to my team one day. Okay. Now, so if you know your numbers, here's what you would say. I got 5 trials. It doesn't matter the money. The money was just a filter to get good people in, to get people that were like willing to put in their credit card information. Doesn't matter if it's $1 trial, $100 trial, free trial. Doesn't matter. You got 5 trial members. Let's say, for example, that Beth knows her numbers. And Beth knows, hey, if I get 2 free trials, I usually keep 1. So let's say you just kept 2.5 members on average, and you can look ahead at your lifetime value. And if you know, well, what's funny is every time I get a member, it's worth, they stay 6 months, and that's worth $300. So $300. So let's say, right, that a paying member who converts in the first month to you actually stays long enough to give you $300. Lifetime value is 300. I'm just picking numbers here. I don't know Beth's actual numbers. So in reality, you would take the 5, you only keep half, so 2.5, and you'd multiply that by lifetime value. This month, you spent about $500 to make about $600 over the lifetime of that customer. Now do it again. Now do it again. Now do it again. You're trading 500 for 600, 500 for 600, 500 for 600. And here's the deal, guys. If you spend $1 and you make $1.01, how much money do you spend on ads? All of them. Because if you make a million pennies, that's a lot of money. Like as soon as you see an ad that converts higher than lifetime value, that's what you want. Now, there's another caveat here for membership marketing and ad spend. Your goal, your stretch goal would be, can I spend about 1/3 of lifetime value to acquire a customer? We're talking about customer acquisition costs here, Beth. You're too focused on the in the moment, short term. How does this feel today? I spent $500 to get 5 $1 people. No, that's not what we're doing. We're just looking at that day of the assembly line. I got 500. I got 5 people. Half will stay. Lifetime value is this. If you zoom out to your annual plan and your yearly money, you're going to win. You're going to win big. You're going to win massively and huge, and it's going to win based on how much you're willing to risk and push your ad budget. So this is a 2-part question. One, you all need to stop the mindset stuff of immediacy and short term, and business is zoomed out to quarterly or annual, right? We're never thinking about what happens today, right? You need to know your numbers. Like, okay, how many free trials do I keep, and what's lifetime value of customers that stay? And then you compare lifetime value to ad spend to see what you're actually winning over time, right? If you look at any business thing you do in the day, you're not making money. Like if I looked, for example, if I looked at my payroll, which is a lot, if I looked at our payroll and how much money we're spending on payroll, and I compared it like to a 2-week period, I'm not going to make new sales back off my payroll, but in lifetime value, I'll win because it keeps members here over the whole lifetime of their thing. So like, I think it's just the way you're looking at this is the problem, guys. When you're doing ad spend, think about lifetime value, try to get your customer acquisition to 1/3 of lifetime value, and never worry about free trials. Just know how many free trials or dollar trials actually renew. That's what's the most important number, because then you can figure out if your ad spend is going to come back to you over time. And the danger here, this is that launch mentality of, oh crap, I spent $1,000 today. I've got to do a webinar every day to get my $1,000 back. It's not how it works. It's more like I'm spending X dollars in the year on marketing. I'm making Y dollars back over all my marketing efforts. I win. And that's kind of what we're looking at. And also, there's a lot of other things happening in your business. Ad spend is not the end all be all. It is important. We try to measure it exactly, and we want to break even. I'm not saying we don't. But don't look at your trials in such a short-term way. Okay. All right. Great question. Awesome question by Beth. I've got a success story here from Paul. Paul says, our spring break trip is going to be mostly funded by my in-person trainings while I'm in Destin and Panama City. And I'm paying myself this month in my online business more than my wife's regular paycheck 9-to-5 job. So I'm assuming that's for the first time. Paul's beating the 9-to-5, not only in his own life and his own old income as a freelancer, but he's beating his wife's actual paycheck. So give Paul a standing ovation in the chat box. That's absolutely amazing, guys. Good job, Paul. Always killing it. Always bringing those success stories. And we love to recognize you every single week, baby. It's awesome stuff. All right, guys, don't forget while you're here, I'm going to drop the link in again. If you want to get on the waiting list and be the first to be notified, I'm going to notify the waiting list for applications about a week or two before anybody else in the community, anybody else in our audience hears about this. But Flipped Lifestyle Life Groups, the next huge thing that we're doing inside the Flipped Lifestyle community, is going to be happening in April. That's next month. And we want to make sure that if you would like to have a mastermind, if you want to be led and facilitated by Flipped Lifestyle mentors and facilitators, and if you want to be a part of my brand new program. It's called Flipped Lifestyle Life Groups, where we're going to take people from the community who are ready to invest in themselves. I'll tell you right now, guys, this is going to cost $497 a month. And if you're not willing to pay that, don't get on the list, because we're looking for people who pay because they pay attention. We're looking for people who are invested in the program and they got skin in the game. We're looking for people who are ready to pay and to buy in, and also be supported by a group of people who are also serious. That's our filter, is how serious are you to be in these mastermind groups, is to pay $497 a month for them. We're looking for givers who are coming into the group and paying into the group, and so that we can surround them with actual serious entrepreneurs who are ready to change their family's future. And they're going to be sharing all their information. We're going to be going deep. We're going to be getting personal. I didn't call them hobby groups. I didn't call them friendly groups. I called them life groups. We're going to be doing life together, guys. We're going to take this online business thing to the next level. We're going to be taking our families to the next level. We're going to be taking our marriages to the next level. Everything is going to the next level in these groups. And we're only going to let people in who are willing to invest in not only themselves, but invest in the program for each other. The life groups, we're going to be having live events twice a year where we get together and hang out with live events. I'm going to be doing special each month. We're going to be reading a book together, all the life groups, and I'm going to be bringing the authors on, people like Aaron Walker, Dan Miller, all kinds of amazing people I'm going to be bringing on, where you can actually interact with these people. It's not just listening to me on a podcast. You're going to be able to ask them questions and do things like that. And I'm putting a lot of time and a lot of energy. And I can tell you right now, the profit margins on this for us are not going to be very high. Not near as high as the membership, but we think it's really important that the hub of the wheel becomes something deeper and more focused and more connected. So we only want serious people on the waiting list who are going to go to the next level. But if you check that out right now, we're going to be sending out applications here in the next couple of weeks, so you can get applied. We're going to filter those, and I will be doing interviews for those groups. We're only going to have 2 groups at launch. We will be trying to add about 1 group a month going forward. But these masterminds, man, if you've ever wanted a mastermind, if you ever thought, man, I wish I had a mastermind, I just can't find anybody that knows what's going on. I talk to people about my online business. They have no clue what's possible or what's happening. That's what the life groups are all about. So check that out. Get on the waiting list if you're serious, and if you're willing to be one of those first people in those first groups. It's going to be an amazing situation. Those first live events too, we're going to have one probably about 8 weeks in to the program, and it'll probably be like 20 people. Right. So it's going to be 20 people, me and Jocelyn hanging out. And it's just going to be a fun situation to be in early, to be a founding member of the Life Group program. So get on the waiting list, and we will get you an application here in the next couple of weeks, and you can check it out and be the first to know. And they may fill up before we even announce it. I don't know. It's going to be awesome. All right. Our next question comes from an anonymous attendee. So if you're anonymous and you want me to say your name, or your hey guys, also too, if you ever want to put your domain names here, I can give you a shout out on the question. But let me know who asked this question in the chat box, and I'll give you a shout out. Hello, Shane. Here's my question. What are some ways to deal with your very first 10 clients, or even your very first client, when there isn't a community yet in the membership? What interactions do you need to have with them? Any tips? Okay. I would say that your first probably 20 to 30 people in any membership site need to be treated almost like one-on-one clients. Because you're going to have to build that relationship. You're going to have to learn why they joined, who they are. So one of the very first things that we always do in a brand new membership is we reach out and we talk to people one-on-one. When the Flipped Lifestyle community launched we launched our beta programs, we reached out to people. We added them on Facebook. We talked to them deeply. We had email conversations with them. Sometimes we even got on a Zoom call with them to learn more about them. This beta program for our new Life Groups Mastermind tier, like, I'm going to be getting on there and interviewing some people and talking to people and reaching out and say, why do you want in this? Who are you? What's going on? So I would say if you launch with a beta group of 10 to 30 people, you need to be looking for one-on-one opportunities with them. You need to be reaching out to them and hanging out with them, and you need to be engaging with them personally so that you can do that. And this is from George. Okay, cool. All right, George. So that's the first thing I would do, is have a one-on-one mentality. And that's a fine line. You want to have the expectations, like, you want to always say things like, hey, since this is my first group, or since you joined early, or because you're a founder, over the next 90 days, I'm going to be engaged with you more on a one-on-one basis. Is that okay? And that way they know that eventually the one-on-one attention might fade away a little bit as the community grows. All right. So that's the first thing I would do. Second thing I would do is talk to yourself. And it's funny to even say that out loud, but you got to talk to yourself. Like, you've got to lead conversation. You've got to be in your forum every day, and you've got to be posting a question, and then you've got to reply to yourself. And then you've got to send that email to all your members and hope that somebody comes in and chimes in too. And you got to do that day in, day out until the dynamo of the community itself takes over, where you don't have to check it all the time. I don't have to log into the community anymore. People talk to each other, and there's great conversation there. My team checks it. I check it. So that grows, right? I can check. I can be the last to check instead of the first to check now, and probably it's already been answered, whatever happens in there. So talk to yourself, like on your social media, everywhere, okay? And then don't be discouraged when only 1 or 2 people show up for like a member call. Put it on Zoom, let them see each other, talk to each of them for 20 minutes, and let it go and move out. And just do that and until you get more people on where you have to like slow it down, like we do. So that's what I would do. That's what I always treat everybody coming in the door like they're one-on-one until I can't. I talk to myself as much as possible, and I answer myself, right? And then you stick to your schedule. If you have a member call scheduled 2 a month, do it. Even if one person shows up, hang out with them, give them a full hour coaching call. Why not? They'll stay forever. After you get enough people in your community, you'll do that. So that brings me to my second point, which is, you better be selling your face off every day. Get a member every day, and in a year you got 365 members, right? Sell your face off in the beginning. Like the right now, sales or leads, sales, and retention's probably like 30, 30, 30, and then 10% of other stuff right now for us. So it's a balance. We got to keep our current members happy, and we got to get new sales, and we got to do other things. It's like 80-20. Like 80% of your time is spent on getting your next member when you first start your membership. 20% of your time is on retention, because you're just trying to get ahead of churn as fast as possible, right? You cannot rest on your laurels. Get a raise every day is a life philosophy for 30 days out of the month, right? How do I give myself a raise a day? I do whatever it takes to get a member. When we just had our quarterly planning, I said, how do we actually get members? Well, we get people on the list. I email the list every day, and webinars really work good. And we haven't done any in a while. Let's do one every week for 12 weeks. That's what we're doing. You know why? Because I know it gets me a member, and I want to give myself a raise every day. So you got to do the exact same thing. Sell your face off and focus on your next member. When you get to about 200 members, that'll balance out. That'll start balancing out more. Okay. Awesome stuff. All right, let me see if I got another success story. Guys, any success stories that end up in the chat, it goes too fast for me to get it. So if my team could highlight those and put them in the Q&A box for me, that'd be awesome, and grab a screenshot of them too. Okay. And if you've already asked a question inside the chat box, make sure you put that in the Q&A so that I don't miss it. All right. Next success story comes from Jonathan. Jonathan says, my Facebook group has grown so much that we started to sell ads. What is happening here? We've been watching this journey over the past few member calls of this 0 to 8,000 member Facebook group that Jonathan has started, and he has monetized that group by selling advertisements. We are now pushing it to advertisers with a huge possibility to make revenue before we even launch. Can we give a standing ovation to Jonathan for building an audience? You guys, you got to have an audience if you're going to have a membership. He's creating content. He's serving the members in that free Facebook group. And now he's got 8,000 people to launch his membership to. So not only is he going to be able to monetize ads in his own group, but he's going to be able to use that ad slot to launch his membership site as well. So Jonathan, good job, dude. That is absolutely inspiring and amazing, dude. And man, hammer down on that free Facebook group. You have figured out a channel to grow audience in, and you gotta hammer that hardcore. That's like us and our podcast, man. Like when we look at our right now, how do we build audience with our podcast? How do we get more podcast listeners? That's the question. You're building audience, strike while the iron is hot in the Facebook group. How do you double it? How do you triple it? And then get that membership launch. Those people are hot. That group has grown so much in 8 weeks. They're ready now. You need to open now. You need to promote that thing now. You need to buzz it for a week, hype it for a week, and launch it. It's over. Quit thinking about it. Sell ads later. Get your membership launched. You probably got 100 members sitting there waiting to give you money every single month if you'll just get that thing open immediately. All right, guys, let me grab a swig of water here. Y'all grab a swig where you live, or do you get a drink? I get a swig in Kentucky, y'all. We get a swig. That's what we got to get. All right, here we go. Next question is from Nicole. Nicole says, I've been selling digital courses. Now I'm transitioning to offering an all access membership community. Good decision. I like that call. I'm wondering about the pros and cons of continuing to offer one-off courses alongside the membership option versus only allowing people to get access to those courses by joining the membership. What do we do? All right. In general, my answer to this, but not without exception, is everything goes in the membership. It's one price to get everything in the membership. That's probably the mentality in the beginning. That is with the caveat of all of your courses are put in a nice logical order, a success path or a blueprint, or a blueprint that people can follow to succeed in your area, right? Like ours is all of our courses are laid out in a very organized way that take you from step A to step Z, right? We call that the Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint. So organize your courses in order. Any courses that are left over that don't need to be in that process can be sold separately. We have a course called the $1 Million Membership Funnel. That was a $5,000 workshop to be in the room to talk to me about your funnel and build the funnel, the membership funnel that we set up. And we actually now sell that as a course, but it's only available a few times a year. I think it's too overwhelming to be put anywhere in the blueprint. I don't think there's components of it in the blueprint, like your first autoresponder sequence and like the sales pages and the basic sales funnel, but this is way too complicated. And so we sell that separately. So anything that doesn't fit in the blueprint can be sold separately. We also sell separately our live event recordings. Whenever we do Flip Your Life Live, we sell that completely separately. It's not inside the membership area anywhere because those events cost $100,000 to put on. They're completely outside the scope of what we do inside the membership. And we use that to monetize profit on the back end of the live events, not the membership. So you can keep things out. That's cool. Now, let's talk about things that are exactly the same. You will often find publicly when you sell things outside of the membership a la carte that it's going to cannibalize sales. Someone will buy $100 course when they would have paid you $100 a month for 6 months. Why would you do that? That does not make any sense. But what you can do is people who quit or off the back end, you can sell individual courses. That's fine. But in general, create a path, put all your courses in one place, make sure the process takes at least 6 months for an average person to go through, and open the door. Like, would you rather have 1,000 people paying you $100 a month, or would you have 1,000 people give you $100 once? Do the math. 1,000 people times $100 a month for 6 months. How much money is that? 600 grand. Or you sold 1,000 courses. Cool. That's great too. But then you got to do it again next month. So we're always trying to create recurring revenue first. One-off sales are thought about second in the way we do things. So you should do the exact same thing. And Nicole says, my membership is for nursing students, so the courses are not exact. Yeah, they're not, but it's curriculum-based. Like, they have to go through so many things. Like, for example, U.S. history teachers can't teach all the things day one. They have 185 days. And day one might be Abraham Lincoln, and day 184 might be John F. Kennedy. They might teach it in a different order than I do. They may start modern and work backwards. People do that, right? That's fine. But they have a place to go get it when they need it in the month and the day that they need it. Same thing with yours. It's curriculum based. So the curriculum's all there. That's fine. Yep. Selling things individually might cannibalize your membership. And remember, we don't sell content. Stop trying to sell content. Content's the draw. The curated path is the railroad track. But we sell, you are not alone. You have me to lead you. You have the other students to work with you. You are in this together. That's what we sell. That's what we sell. So don't think so much about your content. I'll tell you right now, this is the honest to God truth, and I'm not trying to trivialize anything that anybody does. Everything you teach and every word you have ever recorded on a podcast or in a video is free somewhere on the internet. That's a fact, period. Now, it's not going to be said like you say it. It's not going to have your personality. It's not going to have your spin. It's not going to have your particular experience and wisdom for analogies and examples. Everything you ever teach, can teach, or will teach, or should teach is for free on the internet. If you are focused on your content instead of the process, you sell your process. If you are focused on your content instead of your people, you sell access to your people. right? And if you are out there selling content and so focused on the content instead of the guidance and the leadership, I need a P word for that, you are never going to make it. You're never going to make it. That's not what people buy. People buy into community. They buy into leadership. They buy into not being alone, right? They buy into a path. That's another good word for content, a path, process. That's what you're selling. So don't get caught about your content. Don't think about, oh, I could make a couple dollars. I could make a couple dimes over here if I sell this course individually. You could. Maybe sometimes you do, but don't step over dollars to pick up dimes. And that's what people do when they sell one-off courses. They're stepping over dollars to do dimes. Off my soapbox. Done preaching. All right. All right. Next success story comes from Lori. Lori says, website published. Where's my cowbell? I need my cowbell. Somebody order me a cowbell. Why do I keep forgetting that? My team's letting me down. Somebody make me. I'm ordering a cowbell. I want somebody check with me. I want my cowbell so I can ring my cowbell. All right. So website published. First blog is now published and public. That's been a long time coming for Lori. Give her a standing ovation. That is absolutely amazing. Drop a link to that first blog post, Lori, in the chat box so everybody can do it. My team's like, blame us like it's our fault because we have the credit card and the Amazon link. It's Jocelyn's fault. I'm blaming her. She's not here. I need more cowbell. I got to get my cowbell. I'm ordering a cowbell. That's it. But congratulations, Lori. Well done. Absolutely amazing stuff. All right, here we go. Next question. Let's drop the roundtable link in there, or not the roundtable. Let's drop the life groups link in one more time. And everybody, if you're not on the waiting list, we're launching a new program again. If you just tuned in, I saw a few people that just logged in to the Q&A today. Got a brand new program coming out April 28th. We're going to be launching our first 2 mastermind groups in May. It's called Flip Lifestyle Life Groups. Get on the waiting list. I will tell you straight up front, no discounts. This is going to be $497 a month, and I'm probably going to make the first 10 people in each group pay all 3 months to commit. I don't want you if you're not committed. If I want people who want to be in a high-level mastermind, I want people who have always dreamed about having work-life harmony. I want people who want to be as good in their online business as they are in their marriage, as they are in their parenting, as they are in their self-care, as they are in their relationships. That's the people we're looking for this next level tier, right? It's not necessarily just for people who have giant memberships, anything like that. I want people who want to grow their online business, who want to go and scale to the next level in flipped lifestyle life groups. Like, we are facilitating and providing mastermind groups. One of the hardest things you can ever do is surround yourself with great people in the online business world. But when you do it, it's going to 10x every effort that you make. You're going to have accountability. You're going to be able to learn by helping others. You're going to be able to go deep with people on a relational level and a life level, not just a business level. And it really is like, we've got this amazing community. We're all hanging out together. It's an amazing thing, right? But it's the next level is what the life groups are going to provide. Okay. It's like going to church. It's like being in a neighborhood with a church. That's pretty cool. But then you go to the church on Sundays. That's pretty cool. You're in the big group. Then you go to a life group and you go deep and everything gets a little bit better. We're going to be providing that same situation inside the Flip Lifestyle community, because I know when we tried to find masterminds when we first started out, it was really hard. It took us 5 or 6 years to find good mastermind groups with good people. And then probably another 2 years to figure out how to run the stupid things where it actually made a difference in our lives. But we've got the system. We've got it perfected. I'm going to be personally hand-picking the leaders and the mentors who are going to be facilitating these groups. I'm going to lead the overall life group personally, myself. We're going to give you access to a lot of amazing people through this program. It's going to be great for your network, great for your relationships, great for your business. It's just going to be an amazing thing. And it's going to be eventually the hub of everything we do here at Flip Lifestyle. Now, not cheap. It's going to be $497 a month. I want people that are going to pay for it. I want people who are bought in. I want people who are invested, because you've got to invest to get ROI. And I want to make sure that everybody in it is super serious, not only about all 3 major areas in their life, relationships, and their business, but also they're there to help other people. So you'll know that everybody in that room is going to be a great person who is in it and paying to be there. And it's going to be an awesome program. We've got some friends that do some stuff like this, and I've seen success stories like crazy come out of their communities for it. And I want that kind of success for you guys and ours. So get on the waiting list, but only put your name on that waiting list if you're actually ready to invest your time and money in a group of people who are willing to invest time and money back into you. And that includes me and Jocelyn. So check that out. It's called Flip Lifestyle Life Groups. April 28th is the deadline. We're going to be sending out applications over the next couple of weeks. So you want to make sure that you're on the waiting list. So you're one of the first people to get an application and a chance for that. And I'll tell you right now, here's another thing that might scare you off. I'm trying to scare you off. I don't want you to sign up if you're not serious. Hey, you're serious about your business. You're in the Flip Lifestyle community. We're going to make it happen. But if you're serious about life and the flipped lifestyle and going to the next level, that's what I want in this group. Like, I'm going to probably interview you. You're going to have to talk to me 15 minutes and no sugar. It's going to be intense. I'm going to be like, are you here for the right reasons? And I'm going to find out. So you better be in there. So not for the faint of heart, to the people who want to go to the next level. So make sure you check that out over in the chat box. We got a link to the Flip Lifestyle Life Group waiting list. All right. Our next question comes from Jill. Jill says, if you are teaching content that could be a college course, is there ever a situation where you should launch it as a course first and then create a back-end membership to support people who've completed the course as they implement the information? Yeah, I mean, if it's a really expensive course, Amy Porterfield does that. Check out the Membership Masters podcast. Maybe my team can drop a link in it. And if we get this on YouTube later, we can put a show notes link to it. I interviewed Amy Porterfield on the Membership Masters podcast, and that's what she does. She has a really expensive course that you could say would be a college course. I don't really like that terminology because, I mean, I'm sorry, what we do in the Flip Lifestyle is worth more than an entire 4-year degree in business and an MBA. Like, it's not a college course. It's like it produces results. The thing you teach is not a college course. Like, that's not the bar. We are the bar. Like, that's the new world. Everybody's got to remember that. Like, Jill, you're the bar and the college courses are behind you. That's how it rolls, right? So I don't like that terminology. I'm gonna throw that terminology away. We're better than a college course. Like, listen to our podcast, the people who are making, $500,000 a year off their membership site, and no college course is doing that, right? Like, so your stuff is probably more valuable than the college course anyway. Okay. But there is a model where you can say, hey, buy the course for $1,000. And then on the backside, we got this $50 a month membership where you can get support. I don't like that. I like to just bring them in the front end. That's a preference thing. I think based on my experience and what I've seen a lot of people do, if you have a huge audience, the other way works really well. Amy Porterfield has 3 million followers on Facebook. She can sell a $1,000 course and be right 1% of 1% of the time, make a ton of money, and get 1% of the 1% of that bought and fill up a good membership. That's great. So selling off the back end is more, I think, for people who have a huge audience, right? If you don't have a huge audience, go get 100 people to pay $100 a month, make $120,000 a year. Put all your stuff inside the community, create a process they can follow for 6 to 12 months and make a huge living while you're building an audience, right? Our audience isn't big enough to do that other model. Like with Amy, we don't have 1 million followers on Facebook, right? So I don't think that works really good, except for maybe 20% of the people out there who have massive audiences. So it's tempting to try to do that, and all the gurus will tell you they do that. But remember, they're sending an email list to 500,000 people. That's who they're sending their sales to. So if you want to make a great living fast with a membership model, if you want to go out and get 100 people, pay $50 a month, make $60,000 a year, or 200 people and get $120,000 a year, or you get 300 people to pay $100 a month and you make, $30,000 a month, which is going to be like almost $400,000 a year. Like, that happens way faster when you do it really simple. All your content goes in one membership. It's a monthly price, and you give yourself a raise every day. You go find enough people. You go sell 2 and lose 1, and you just keep doing that forever, right? That's the low energy, fastest way to an amazing living through the membership model. And now, if you're listening to this and you've got an email list that's 300,000 people and you got 1 million people downloading your podcast every day, I would consult you to say, yeah, you're cool, man. You could probably close that once a quarter, make a bunch of money, and pick up members to ride to the next launch. Cool. That's fine. But go listen to Amy's podcast if you want to hear how to do it. I would not recommend that unless you have a huge audience. All right, let's see here. Let me get done on this one. All right, we've got another win. This one is from Brooke. Brooke says, I got 20 new members in the past 2 weeks, and February was the best month I've ever had with, count them, y'all, 64 new members. Brooke got 64 members in the shortest month of the year, right? Do the math. Do the math. If you had a membership that was $50 a month, and that's my round table number, like she gave herself a $3,200 raise if she had a $50 a month membership. Like, can you walk into your boss at a paycheck right now, a 9-to-5 job, and say, can I have a $3,000 raise? I deserve this. I couldn't do it for my people. So don't ask people. Start your own membership on the side. We welcome that in the Flip Lifestyle team. It's okay. But that's crazy that you can do that, like with an online business. That's absolutely amazing. Now, Brooke put a lot of work in. You know why I know? Because Brooke's in my coaching program. And I know she's been doing it brick by brick, and she's been crushing it. But man, 64 new members in a single month. That's absolutely crushing it, killing it. And I got a feeling that's going to like double and be even better before. So let's give Brooke an outstanding ovation. And I listen, Brooke has been in the Flip Lifestyle community for a long time, and she's built this thing from scratch, from zero, and now it's starting to get momentum, and things are going to start getting out of hand, and we're going to have some crazy stuff happening there. So good job, Brooke. Proud of you. Awesome stuff. You're an inspiration to the entire Flip Lifestyle community. All right, let's see here. Hold on one second. All right, here we go. Our next question comes from Robin. She's squeezing this question in before the blizzard of the century hits Colorado. Shane, how do I get people to engage on live calls? I always come with something to teach just in case, but it's like pulling teeth to get people to bring their own questions or at least ask them. How do I get more people to engage? Okay, the number one tip I have for this is get more people. Sales fixes everything. Sales fixes member calls. Sales fixes your forums. Sales fixes your engagement on your social media. Sales fixes everything. So spend 60% of your time worrying about how you're going to get 60 more people, not how you're going to get the 6 people that are coming to talk. Because if you get 60, 20 more show up and bam, people start talking, right? This is a law of large numbers situation. You just got to have more people there, right? Second, I would say is set the tone and the culture that they have to talk. Like, I spend the first 15 minutes of this call every time, like, stop being shy. And I start calling people out. Like, Paul, why have you not asked a question? You know what I'm saying? Like, Lori, where you at? Why haven't you asked a question? But where's Lori's question? I want to see Lori's question. I've call you out. Like, we're not here to mess around. Right? Like, this isn't like, I hope you talk. It's no, you're going to talk. You're going to ask questions. I need so many questions, and I'm going to start calling people's names if you don't, right? We're not in school. I'm not here not to embarrass anybody. I'm just here to ask you to get a question, right? So you have to go get them. You have to force their hand, right? And then the third thing I would say is always be prepared. Like, when I do a Flip Lifestyle member call, we still get that where 20% of the people ask questions and 80% of the people are here just to listen. So I have the Flip Lifestyle community forums open at all times, and I'm ready with questions. So have it set up where you can take questions in other places. Your frequently asked questions. Keep a bank of questions that people ask you. We've answered over like 2,000 questions on Q&As. We've got all of them. We know what they all are. So I could pull up 10 questions without anybody saying anything. If you're just starting out and you got a very small membership, then you need to know the 20 frequently asked questions that everybody asks you, or go to a place like Answer the Public or Quora, Quora, I think that's what it is. Like, look at what questions people are asking in your space. Like, that's a great way to do it, and have a bank ready. Look, when I do a webinar, I always have these 24 questions right beside me, the most frequently asked questions. They're in the slide deck, and I go through them before I even ask for anybody on the call to ask me a question, right? And that's if there's 1 or 100 people on the call. So you do have to be prepared, but 2, you also have to be the leader. Like, and I can look through here right now, and if anybody's hiding over in the chat box and you're not asking questions, if I run out of questions, I might say, John, where you got? Bob, what are you doing? Cindy, ask me a question. Like, like, I'm here for you. Like, why aren't you asking questions? You paid to be here, right? Like, tell people overtly that you want their questions, and don't be afraid to lead. Don't ever be afraid to lead, right? I've never had anybody that I know of quit the membership because I was like begging to serve them harder on a member call. Like, please, I want to answer your specific question, John, or whoever it is. Like, right? Like, no one's going to quit because of that. Don't feel shy about that. Like, go get them, make them do it. Set the culture, set the tone. All right. Svetlana says, Shane, hold on. Let me see. Ooh, both of these are good questions, but I'm only going to do one right now. I don't understand this lifetime membership question, so reword that. I'm going to do this other one. Svetlana says, Shane, is a 5-day or 7-day trial a good option in comparison with a 30-day trial? Thanks. It doesn't matter. Stop trying to listen. If you're Amazon and you have 40 million people logging on every day, you need to split test 5-day versus 7-day versus 30-day trials. If you are a membership owner, you need to have a trial or not have a trial. That's it. That's it. It doesn't matter. How fast do you want to know? How fast do you want to know if they're converting? We tested some shorter trials recently. Didn't like it. Went back to 30. Worked a lot better. You know, I think that the less we worry about stuff like this and the more we worry about promoting what we do, the better our memberships will grow. Have a 30-day trial, charge $1 or $0, promote it like crazy every day. That will work fine. There's no reason to figure out now there's reasons you might want a shorter trial. There's an argument if you're doing ads to free trials that a shorter trial would be better so you can understand your numbers faster. But to me, if you're going to offer a trial, just pick one, offer it, do it every day for a year and see how it goes and promote it. The kind of trial you pick is infinitely less important than promoting that trial to new people every day. Nothing matters but leading your membership and marketing your membership. That's it. That's what gets you new sales. That's what gets you retention. So, like I said, whatever you're comfortable with, pick it. I tell you right now, 5-day or 7 days is not going to make a hill of beans of difference. That's not going to matter, right? But if you don't want to give it away for 30 days, pick 7. If you don't care, give it 30. $1 or $0. There's some reasons for that, but honestly, just pick a free trial and go with it, and you're going to be fine. Okay. 90% of people don't have enough numbers for the data to even matter, right? And I'm talking about influencers too. Like you could have 50,000 people listening to you every month on podcasts and YouTube and social, and that's probably not enough. You could have 100,000 people listening to you, and that's probably not enough data to know what really converts well. Amazon has enough data. Apple has enough data. Facebook has enough data. We have 80-20 rule. Well, we know trials work really good when we do them. Let's pick one and do that. Right? I know I make more money when I email every day. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know I make more money when that happens. So I'm going to do that. Right? Webinars are cool. Does this webinar work better than this webinar? Maybe, but I'm just going to do this one 12 times in a row and we'll see. Right? So you're looking at too small of a data set to even care. Just offer. Everybody should be at least $50 a month. Offer a free trial. Promote that to every person that you've got and see how many people you can get. Right. And then next year, raise your price. That's all we got to do. All right, guys, let's see here. Let's see if I got another sex story. Got some good music in my ears right now. All right, guys, throw me a couple more wins or success stories. Give me a win. Where's your wins this week? All right. I want to know. I'm going to call people out. Lori gave us a win. She had an awesome win. Beth, let me go over the attendees here. I want to hear, let's see, who have I not heard a win from? Connie, I want to know your win. I haven't seen you in forever. Where you been at, girl? I want to hear your biggest win. Cynthia, what's your biggest win? Damien, what's the best thing that's happened to you in the last 2 weeks? I want to know it. Eric and Noel, what are you doing over there? Quit hiding. Ian, you're always talkative. Jason, where you at, man? I want to see some wins. Tell me I don't care if you sent an email. I don't care if you made a sale. I don't care what it is. I want to hear this. I want to see this chat box explode from everybody who's not given me a victory lap today. I want to celebrate you. I want to tell everybody. I want you to inspire somebody. I want you to get after it right now in the chat box and tell me. See, look at that. That's how you get engagement. Look at it, baby. We got some people fired up. Look at this one. Look at this one. Hiding over there. Connie just shared an amazing success story. She finally hit 250 members in her community. Who would not love to have 250 members? Who here is just starting out and your goal is to have 250 members and you are inspired by Connie's success story now? Tell me about that. Tell Connie, good job. That's amazing. We ain't going to hide. We're not going to wish away all of our blessings and success on this member call today. We're going to get after it. We're going to get fired up. That's an awesome success story. I'm glad I got fired up right there. Or I never would have known that Connie finally hit 250 people in her membership side. Who's inspired by that? Matt said 250 would be amazing. Matt is now inspired to go work in the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint and go talk in the Flip Lifestyle forums and to show up on member calls so he can get 250 members too. That's what it's all about. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, people. Okay. I'm excited now. I'm ready to go. The next question is going to be the best answer ever. Here we go, man. Hey, now I want everybody else's success story too. Now I get just as excited if you launched your opt-in. I'm that fired up about your opt-ins, people. So that's what we're going to talk about right there. This is what happens. Feed me more. Feed me more. Success stories, baby. I live on them. Okay. All right. I'm going back into the questions now. Everyone, I got like so many people here right now. I got my housekeeper, my personal assistants here. Jocelyn's walking around packing. I think Anna Joe's back. I don't know what's going on, but my dogs are probably frightened. They don't know what's going on in here in the guest bedroom right now. All right. Next question comes from John. John says, I was going to hire a Kajabi freelance contractor to build my membership website, but it's kind of expensive and I would feel kind of out of the loop, technologically speaking. Do you think it's a good idea that I build it myself and learn with the help from Kajabi and the Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint? That's trial and error. I'm just so impatient and want my site up and running like yesterday. I think that we have kind of an unwritten rule, John, in our business. If we bring a new technology on, Jocelyn and I spend time with it to make sure we can speak the language before we hand it off to other people, or before we teach other people how to use it. I used Kajabi myself with no help from anybody for at least 6 months before I started teaching it to other people on the team, before we started using it with anybody else, so that I could speak the language. Now, when I meet with my team, we can have productive meetings about how we build stuff. Or like just this weekend, somebody was having trouble with something lining up, and we jumped in and decided to use another template. And also too, I'll tell you this, guys, Kajabi's easy. It really is easy. The problem is when people start trying to do too much. All you need on your entire website are pictures, videos, and text with a white background. Everybody. And then you need a landing page where people can give you their name and email. And then you need a sales page that leads to an order form. Do not try to do anything else. Do not try to do anything else. That's how you build a business, right? And Kajabi can do that drag and drop. On the left, it says, let's see. Next thing I want text. Click, text, type. Next thing I want's a picture. Click, image, done. Hey, I want to put a video at the top. Add video, done. Videos, images, text. There's a couple other cool little things in there, like hero images. All right, whatever. But really, the greatest websites on the planet are images and text. Go look at the biggest websites on earth. Go look at Facebook. It's text and pictures and videos in a clean format. Go look at CNN or Fox News. It's text and image and videos in a clean format. They have one sidebar. Everybody gets too fancy, guys. Don't get too fancy. You need images, videos, and text. Add them, right? It needs to be clean. You need some navigation. We've got courses inside the community that'll say like, hey, you need a contact page. Hey, you need an about page. Here's what it should look like. What you say is more, the copy is way more important than how you build it. So I would say go into Kajabi. You're actually going to find that you can build it so fast that getting someone else could slow you down, right? And it's just not even worth it to even get anybody in Kajabi because it's so good. Now, if you want custom coding, and people do that, but all we need is pages with images, videos, and text, opt-in pages that have name and email, sales page, click a button, go to an order form. You do that, you're off to the races, right? So yes, I would recommend everybody spend time in Kajabi so that you can learn it, and then eventually you can hand that off to somebody else and you'll know how to use it, okay? All right, we got another success story here from Cynthia. Step back, Jack. She's reached 10,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel for American Sign Language teaching resources. That's way more subscribers than we have on our YouTube channel. That's amazing, Cynthia. I'm envious. I'm inspired. You got me fired up. Thank you for sharing that. That's an awesome success story. I love seeing all this growth. Like every little thing, guys, stacks up to great growth. If you get more YouTube followers, you get more. Always celebrate every milestone because they matter so much. So give Cynthia, anybody with less than 10,000 subscribers, you better tell Cynthia amazing and say, I'm inspired, Cynthia. If you got less than 10,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel right now, or you don't even have a YouTube channel, you better be celebrating 10,000 subscribers and Cynthia, and you better be going, how'd you do that? Tell me how to do that. Can we go talk about that in the forums? That'd be amazing, right? Okay. Go post that, Cynthia. All right. Next question comes from Damien. Damien says, I'm creating a membership for fourth grade teachers in my state, focusing on California curriculum. Cool. A lot of people in California. You probably don't even need to go farther than that. Now I'm worried that the market size might be too small. Wondering if I should focus on something for students. Should I go forward with a teacher membership and try to branch out later? I think that you're making an assumption that the market is small. So how many, let's see how many how many teachers, I'm typing this in Google, are in California? How many teachers are in California? All right, there are 307,000 credentialed teachers in the state of California. Let's assume we're doing some money math here. Let's assume I'm just going to divide it by 12. Let's assume it's an equal spread. It's probably not, but there's 12 grades, kindergarten through 12. Let's see. You got 25,500 probably fourth grade teachers. All you need is 100 of them to pay you $50 a month to make $60,000 a year, which is probably more than you're making teaching. So I think there's nothing wrong with niching down to California. If you had said Montana, we might have had a different conversation today. But you did not say Montana. You said California, right? So I think that, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I know people who have done this, like, we've had members that have focused on Texas before because Texas is huge. And actually, an amazing success story in the community. Her name's Kareem Murado. Like, she has like a homeschool Spanish site, which is a little different. But she's launched like in Virginia, just Virginia homeschool people, and she really focused on that, right? Was she had a Virginia flavor to it or something? I think it was Virginia. So yeah, this is totally fine. I think you're fine. Like, be niche, be focused, dominate all lesson plans for fourth graders. California, go find 100 people to do it, right? And then you can always expand out. Teaching fourth grade lessons is the same in other states. It's just organized different. Like, you know, if you're teaching fourth graders how to do fractions, they will work the same in California or Kentucky. Okay. So it's not like you can't expand, but I dig it. You know, call it, you know, go all in on that, and heck, go get a couple hundred people, make six figures and you know, and you're in 200 classrooms. And market size always works that way, guys. Like, you just go look at the geographic area, how many people are doing it, and figure out how many you can reach. When we looked at elementarylibrarian.com in the very beginning, that's what we did. We just said, okay, well, there's this many elementary schools. If we assume each one has one elementary librarian, that's the market size. Can we get 200 of them? If we do, we make six figures. Like, that's the math, right? Anything over 50,000 is probably going to be able to do that. I got a guy I've been hanging out, talking to a little bit. His niche, he's making 45 grand a month. His niche is pawn shop owners. There's only like, I looked it up, there's like 12,000 of them or something. And he's killing it, making 45 grand a month, leading pawn shop owners, right? So like, that's as niche as it gets. So like, yeah, man, I think that's perfectly big enough. Awesome stuff. All right. Let me mark that one off. Make sure that I got to it. All right, real quick, take a little pause. Going to drop a link again to the waiting list for Flip Lifestyle Life Groups. Not going to give the big spiel this time, but I'm as excited as I am about these success stories. I'm equally as excited off camera with my team. And Jocelyn's about to kill me because I will not stop talking about this life group program. I'm like, Jocelyn, this is it, man. Like, I got this big 10-year vision for Flipped Lifestyle. This is how big I'm dreaming, guys. Like, so I got this big vision where we're like a podcast network or like a radio network, almost like Dave Ramsey, right? And we got all these Flipped Lifestyle brands, and they're all feeding big podcasts that go into big memberships that go into the middle into Flipped Lifestyle life groups. That's how serious I'm focused. This is a part of my 10-year vision for my life, and to create an infinite game business that's going to outlast me and my children. So do you think I'm going to put my effort into this? Do you think I'm going to be fired up about this? Do you think I'm going to be expecting massive results from the people who participate in this? Yes, I am. Flip Lifestyle Life Group is going to be an amazing thing. Masterminds are probably what I would attribute to most, if not all, of our success. So bringing up the average of the people that we hang around every single week of our life. Right? You're the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. You're already up in your average because you're in the Flip Lifestyle community. You're surrounded by people like Cynthia, who are killing their YouTube channel, like Connie, who are crushing their memberships, like Brooke, who are just growing through them. You're surrounded by amazing people already in a community. But we want to go deeper into life groups, 8 to 10 person groups, men's groups and women's groups, where we go all in on life, all in on marriage, all in on parenting, all in on self-care, all in on relationships, all in on our online business dream. And we're going to be surrounded by people that get it and do it. And we're going to filter that for you. We're going to lead those for you. And I'm really fired up about that program. So again, it's going to be $497 a month. This isn't going to be a reveal the price at the end of the webinar thing. If you ain't willing to pay it, then it's a filter. We're going to make sure the people in it are committed and invested and dedicated to everybody else that's in the program, right? You want that filter. Listen, guys, I just paid $8,000 to go to a 2-day thing. You know why? Because I wanted to up my average. I wanted to be in the room with greatness and great people. And everybody in that room, 90% of them, everybody in that room almost was greatness. They were already crushing it and killing it. My average went up and I paid to be in the room. And I didn't just show up to suck in all the information. I gave as much as I took, right? Because I was in a high-level mastermind with high-level people. I had 2 days, and I was there to tell them everything I knew that worked for me and hear everything that was working for them. And that's what Flip Lifestyle Life Groups are going to be all about. So if you want to be on the waiting list, you want to be one of the first people to apply, we're going to be sending out applications, I think in like a couple weeks, definitely before the end of the month. We're going to be going through those applications, and then we're opening the program on April 28th with personal invites. So you want to be on the waiting list, check that out. And I hope to see you in there. It's going to be an amazing, amazing, amazing program. All right, next question comes from Matt. Matt says, Shane, still trying to clarify my idea. Awesome. I know it's around baseball. I played professionally for 8 years here in the States and in Europe. And I'm thinking of creating courses, online lessons, something else. What are your thoughts? All right. So you've already done what we tell people to do. You look at your life professionally and personally and passionately, and you find out what you're good at professionally, personally, and passionately. And that's going to come with the seed of an idea. Like you, I was a sports guy. I knew it had something to do with football, but I didn't exactly know what. But I knew I wanted to be involved in football in the beginning. And I thought that would be the thing I was most qualified to talk about. Okay. I think where I hear some confusion here, Matt, is you're thinking about courses and online lessons, and you're thinking about things you can do, and you're not thinking about problems you can solve. What problem can you solve in the baseball market, right? Are you the best teacher of hitting ever? Can you solve that problem for somebody? Do Little League coaches need organization and you can help them do that because you were a manager? I don't know what you did after your playing career. I don't know, do college baseball players who are moving into the minor leagues need someone who has played professionally to help guide them through that process? I think that's probably a membership that could have 100 people in it, right? And that might be a little more expensive membership because they've got contracts, right? Maybe that's a $297 a month membership. You get 100 people, make $30,000 a month, and you guide people through that. Or maybe you want to help kids, like you got a comment in the challenge here. I want to help kids develop more confidence at the plate. Okay, that's a dime a dozen. That's a commodity. That's a video. I can watch that. And here's a video on how to be confident at the plate. What's the journey, right? Could you guide parents from Little League all the way to college to get them ready to maybe have a chance to play in the minor leagues, right? And you guide the parent through the process and that journey. That's a 12-year subscription. Right? Like, that's a 16-year path from 8 years old to 20 something, right? That might be great retention on that one, So that the thing you need to stop now and do is focus on the problem you're going to solve. Until you solve a problem, you don't have a membership. What problem do we solve? We solve the problem of making money online with membership websites and keeping your work-life balance. Not everybody does that. Everybody else is like pedal to the metal, launch to launch. Woo, Gary V, F-bomb, S-H-I-T. Tim Ferriss, I work 4 hours, but really 90. None of that crap, right? That's not the problem we solve. Our problem is we're going to help you start an online business. We're going to be the tortoise, not the hare. We're going to make sure that at the end of building a successful business, you're still going to be married, your kids are still going to love you, and you're still going to be fulfilled that you're doing the right thing with your life. That's what Flip Lifestyle is all about. That's the problem we solve. If that ain't your problem, you need to move on to somebody else because we don't want to solve your problem. So you need to figure out what problem you solve. That's what you got to do. So spend some time on that. Post some problems in the forums, and we'll hash it out with you, man, and help you all along the way. Okay? Awesome stuff. All right, guys, I got about 20 more minutes. I got a few more questions here. This is the last call for questions on today's Q&A. So make sure that you are posting any questions that you might have, any success stories you still want us to celebrate and share. I want to make sure my team is screenshotting those for me and also letting me know about them. If you could just copy and paste them into the Q&A box for our team. I want the success stories in the chat box, though, so everybody can see them, everybody can celebrate them, everybody can get fired up, and everybody can get ready to do that, okay? All right, let's see. Let's see here. What is this? Is this a question? Jennifer, is that a question? Thank you for me. Sorry, I'm pulling us forward. Glad to hear you will continue adding. Oh, okay. So Jennifer had a question about the new mastermind process. Jennifer said the new mastermind is a great goal for those of us just starting out as well. Glad to hear it will not just be 2 groups and that you will be adding a group month after month as you go forward. Yeah. And I want to stress to everybody too, I think that I would say you probably need to have your idea. You probably need to have your website and you probably need to be open. But this is not necessarily something just for people who have tons of members. In fact, the people that join this will probably scale infinitely more quickly because they're going to do it. I don't think it's for somebody like who's just trying to figure out their idea. I don't think you're ready for the mastermind yet, but it's for someone who's clearly dedicated to making their online business work and managing their marriage and managing their parenting and managing self-care. This is something that Jocelyn and I really been getting into the last couple of years is you got to take care of yourself. Got to put your own mask on before you can put your mask on everybody else if the plane's going down, right, y'all? And, but it's not going to be capped at that. But yes, we will be adding groups. I mean, my goal is to scale permanently, like every group adding, we're going to add a group every month until we figure out the systems. If we got 50 people that we think could be a good fit, we might open 5 groups in a single month in the future. Like this is going to be something that we are going to be scaling. We're going to be focusing on time blocks as well. Like, the groups will be allocated by time block. So like if you can come at 1:00 on Mondays, that'll be your mastermind group. Like we're going to expect 95% attendance every week of the year. And if you dip below 95% attendance, we're going to kick you out. Like this is hardcore. This is masterminds. Like if my mastermind guys, if I text them and they didn't text me back, I'd find a new mastermind. Right. So like it's going to be open for anybody as long as you meet certain criteria, which we're going to launch after we start sending out applications. Okay. But yeah, it's going to be a great go. This program's here to stay and we're going to be growing it out over time. All right, guys, let me see here. Oh, good call, Carrie. I will talk about that after this question. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for reminding me for that. All right. Next question comes from Jonathan. Jonathan says, not really seeing myself doing member Q&A calls. That's fine. What else would you recommend? My site is not really the me show. I am actually trying to build a separate brand instead. All right. So all memberships don't have to have an all call, but all memberships do have to have a community. Our community is comprised of forums and Q&As. Like, isn't it fun coming here and listening in, hanging out? I would challenge you. And I would say, even if it's not about you, why would you not want this for your people? Why would you not want something where they can all show up at live and get excited? Like I'm inspired. I'm excited. Who's inspired and excited every time they do a member call? Who loves the member call? Go ahead and post in the chat box. Tell Jonathan. So I would offer something monthly live. It could look very different though. It could be like interviewing, someone in your space and just let them be the star. Like one of the life groups the life group thing, like we want to read books and really develop professionally, personally, every area of our life. So maybe we read 48 Days to the Work You Love one month and I bring on Dan Miller, the author of that book, and I give access to my community. When Dan Miller comes on, it's not the Shane show. Like anybody, our facilitators and mentors may actually do those interviews for me, right? I might just show up at the live events. Okay. But like that could happen and you could have someone do that. So I would encourage you that you need somebody to do something live once a month. Right now, if it doesn't have to be about you, again, on the flip side of that, if you really don't want to do that, you better focus hardcore on how you're connecting your people together. So put all your efforts into your community, whether it's a forum, whether it's Mighty Networks, Circle.io, Slack channels, Facebook groups, whatever it is. That has to be world-class because you do have to you can lead people just from the content and the organization and the structure, but you better make sure that you're doing something to build that community. That's what these calls are not just for you to get your answer. And all caps, Jonathan just typed in the chat box, you just gave me an idea! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Heck yeah, that's what I'm here for. Giving ideas out like candy at a parade. Just, whoa, peppermints for this side. Whoa, Hershey bars on the left. Who wants candy? Make sure you use your antibacterial, wipe the Rona off of them before you open the wrapper, but they're wrapped individually for your safety. So you get an idea. Okay. All right. So we got the idea going, but you absolutely do not have to have I did, Angela. I did, Brooke. That's right. Laugh at me all you want. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You don't have to be silly. Like someday I actually anticipate my long-term vision for Flip Lifestyle, just because I built this way now, doesn't mean it stays this way. Our long-term vision for Flip Lifestyle is other people hosting our podcasts, other people leading memberships, other people doing Q&A who are way more qualified than me. Maybe not half as silly, you know what I'm saying? But they're way more qualified than I am. So like you can totally remove yourself from anything that you create. You just have to create the fundamentals of it, the pillars of it. Okay. All right. Awesome question. All right. Next question. Oh, wait. Do we got any more success stories? Let me see here. Got some more. Oh, yeah. All right. So Carrie wanted me to mention too, who has been to a co-working session? Anybody been to one of our new co-working sessions? This is something new for the community. We're about to ramp this up too in our next 3-month plan, April, May, and June. We're going to be doing a daily co-work session. They're going to be fixed times. And we're working with our team right now to figure out when they go. Lori's all caps loving the co-working. Here's what it is. Our team works. Like we put in work to the Flipped Lifestyle community and we show up and we do our work. So we decided to start going live and inviting you guys to come work with us, have a co-working session. It's on Zoom. Who's lonely right now? Who hasn't seen anybody because of Rona? Who hasn't done that? Zoom. It's not the webinar. It's Zoom. You can see each other. There's video. You can talk a little bit in the beginning, tell everybody where you're from. I think we're going to start doing some icebreaker stuff, right? And on the beginning of the calls, just everybody share some silly fact about themselves, or I don't know. It's fun stuff. You can whatever. But like, it's basically like show up, 1 hour clock. Let's get some work done, right? This is your time to be focused and be surrounded by other people who are working hard too, right? So stay tuned for that. We're going to have co-working sessions. We're going to try to have them Monday through Friday next quarter. It's going to be awesome. We work that into, like, our people all work at different times. Our employees, we always tell them, you get to be Flipped Lifestyle people too. Like we have meetings and appointments, but Hannah, our editor, I don't even know how she's awake right now because she stays up. She likes to work at night. Angela, she woke up this morning before God turned the sun on, and me and Carrie are just trying to survive in between our kids, right? So we all work at different times. So we're gonna have different times for the co-work sessions to make sure that everybody has a time to hang out and show up. So check those out. Make sure you're paying attention to your email because you do not want to miss those. All right, let's see here. Next question comes from an anonymous attendee. A lot of spying and anonymous attendees in here today. All right, an anonymous attendee says, if I write a book about our business story, what would be the best way to market it to build up my membership? Do you have a book? Where can we find it? Oh, is this one of or is my team planting these questions? I bet you are. All right, anyway. I'm writing a book. It's not going really well. A lot of other stuff going on. I got an idea though. It's coming. All right. So if I had the book finished, here's what I would do. I would always give away my book for free. That's what the book is for, especially if it's your story. If the book teaches something technical or tactical or strategic, like if I had a book called Memberships and it taught how to do it, I would probably charge for that, but I might give it away for free, actually. I think books are great lead magnets, free plus shipping. You say, hey, I'll give you the book, cover $4.95 for shipping. We'll put it in media mail. You'll have it in a couple of weeks. You send them the book. They get fired up about the process, and you have links in every chapter leading back to lead magnets or to actual paid products. That would be how I would market the book, and I will do the book, but that's a sneaky question on my team's part because I get asked that every week, right? But they are great lead magnets. That's why you write them. I will say this. You are not making money on your book. Simon Sinek makes money on his book. You do not make money on your book. Most people don't. 99% of authors make zero money on your book. You make money by what the book leads people to. So make sure you're always thinking about how to get them back to your email list and always how to get them back to your products. Sneaky questions. Sneaky questions. All right, here we go. All right, next question comes from another anonymous attendee. My membership idea is to help people through holistic health coaching. I just want to know, how did Brooke Castillo start her membership, since I have a similar experience? Just that she teaches on life coaching and I teach holistic health coaching. Basically, the question is, how did she start it off? Thank you. I actually know exactly how she started it off because Brooke was, she came through the Flipped Lifestyle community. When Brooke came through the community, she was working as a one-on-one life coach. I think she might have had some courses, maybe one-off courses. She was considering a membership. We talked it through. She wanted a higher ticket membership. because she was going to be more personally involved in the beginning and provide a lot more services for people. But her journey basically went like this. She started a podcast. She worked like crazy to get great guests and great content and grow her audience. And then she started a membership, and she charged $297 a month. And it basically was courses and coaching. And then she went out and she built an email list from her podcast, and she sold on it through webinars to get people into her membership. That's it. It's the same process. Everyone does anything in the world today. You create content, which builds an audience. You turn your audience into an email list, and you better be doing that more now soon with all these privacy things for Facebook and Google and all this stuff. If you're not building an email list, you're done. If you're relying on a Facebook audience, you're done. Instagram audience, you're done. So create content, make it world class, use that to grow an audience and push people to an email list, build a customer list or an email list, and then push them into your membership. That's it. That's all Brooke's whole thing is still today. She did $35 million last year. She has a podcast. She has ads going into opt-ins for webinars, and then she sells them into her membership. That's it. It's the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint, living in the flesh. And so get in the blueprint, follow the blueprint, do what it says. And that is the path that you're going to have. Now, can you accelerate the path? Yes, you can follow the blueprint. That's going to get you there in half the time it took us. Can you put ads to everything? If you're willing to invest and risk ad money, you're risk reward, right? So you can make the process go sooner. But at the bottom line is she rolled up her sleeves, she opened her wallet, she bet on herself, and she won. And that's what everybody has to do. Okay. All right, great question, anonymous attendee. All right, got question. Hold on, let's see here. Our next question comes from Ian. Ian says, we've identified Facebook groups as a good potential way to find customers. So let's say build audience. That'd be a better way to say that. But how do we reach out on social media groups to tell them, about our membership? So you want to connect with existing memberships who already have your customers to draw them back into your Facebook group or your email list. Got it? Because a lot of groups will delete any post that even suggests promotion or kick out anyone doing anything like this. Of course they do. But that's because those posts are what's in it for me. The thought process you have to think of is, what can I do for this host? What can I do for the person that owns that group? There's a lot of things you can do for people. One, you can just serve their audience. Just get in there and answer questions, right? Just get in there and answer questions with no link, no return, no nothing. Just become known in the group, right? The second thing you can do is reach out to them and say, hey, how can I help you? I mean, if you would sell my course in my membership, I'll give you half the monthly fee. If you got $100 a month membership and someone can help you sell 1,000, give them 50 of it a month. Like, work out a deal where you can help them make money. The only way you can get in with those groups, guys, is work your way in or buy your way in. That's it. There's nothing else. Roll up your sleeves or open your wallet. If you've ever heard me say that about anything, that is almost always the answer to anything in networking and relationships and getting access to other people's audiences. Is you can work your way in or you can buy your way in, right? I have worked my way in to a lot of different people's lives and been interviewed on their podcasts and things like that, right? I've also bought my way in to make sure I'm at the front seat of the table and I am seen, right? So if you want those Facebook groups to work with you, stop thinking like an organic, shy, maybe I'll post a reply to someone's random person. Nope, you're a business owner. You're dedicated to your mission. You have a passion to grow your membership and lead your community and throw your stone and make it ripple across the pond. To do that, you're going to have to build relationships. And the only way to build relationships is to work your way in or buy your way in. So stop thinking about what's happening in the group and start thinking about who owns the group, how you can connect with them, how you can build a relationship with them, how you can buy your way into their products. Go buy their stuff. Do they sell something? Buy it. I promise you they'll pay attention, right? Why are you getting an answer from me right here? Because you paid for a membership into the Flip Lifestyle community. You bought your way in. I know your name now, right? Like that. I recognize your name. If we met in person, I would recognize that you were asking me questions. And then if you were like, hey, XYZ, I'm like, yeah, sure, man, I'll help you out, right? Like, so work your way in or buy your way in. start thinking about a business as a business owner, start figuring out how you can connect with these people on a deeper level, and then go through the owner. Like, just go to the person who makes the decision. Don't worry about, I think so many people are like, so many people are not being resourceful, and they're only thinking about the limited resources they have, that they try to figure out how to be sneaky enough to maybe squeeze a link in that someone might click and come buy something. That's bullcrap. Throw all that off the table and say, I want in that room talking to that person. How can I help them and serve them to a level that I've never helped or served anybody else? Because then they will come and they will help serve me too, right? And you have to go into relationships like that expecting nothing. Like, you may put 40 hours into a relationship, help them and serve them, and nothing comes out of it. But if you did that with 25 of those groups and 2 of them got you 1,000 members, would it matter if the other 23 never reciprocated? Of course it wouldn't, right? So start thinking about the group. Reach out to the group leader and ask if you can help them in any way. Be a moderator. Jocelyn is still a moderator in Pat Flynn's Facebook group. She's actually a moderator in that group. She didn't have to do that, but we love Pat, and he helps us so much. Why would we not help him, right? Like, that's how you have to do these things, okay? Build a relationship with the admins and don't spam the group, right? Serve the group, and then figure out how you can serve the admin at the next level. All right, guys, I got one more question. Actually, we got a, hold on a second. All right, I've got one more celebration real quick here. I'll do one more celebration, then one more question, and then we're going to wrap up this Q&A. But I do want to mention the life groups one more time. These are 8 to 10 person masterminds. We're going to have ladies groups and men's groups. We will not have co-ed groups right now at all. We want to really get these groups to be comfortable with each other. So we want, husbands, fathers, male entrepreneurs in one group, and we want we want mothers, wives, entrepreneurs in the other group. And you'll say different things in front of men or women that you wouldn't say with a co-ed group. And we want these to be totally comfort groups. I want people in these groups to become best friends, family, like deep bonded connections of people pursuing business excellence, personal excellence, family excellence, relationship excellence. So we're going to have 2 groups when we launch. Okay. And they're going to be absolutely amazing. It is going to cost $497 a month, and it's probably the first groups are going to have to pay $1,500 and commit to 3 months to join. I only want the most committed. I only want the most invested. I only want the people who are the most serious about giving everything they can to the group and receiving from the other people and earning it by rolling up their sleeves and opening their wallet. That's it. Everything philosophically that we talk about is going to happen in these life groups. These are going to be weekly groups. You're going to meet once a week with your mastermind group. We're going to require 95% attendance. You got to show up, you got to show off, and you got to show out, right, for these groups. And our goal is to build high-level masterminds in the Flip Lifestyle community of people who are focused on not just money, but business, marriage, family, relationships, life, excellence in every single area that they're trying to accomplish. That's what we call the flipped lifestyle. These groups are going to provide that for everybody. Groups will include your entire membership, though. So when you upgrade to a life group, it'll still include the community. You don't have to pay 2 payments. It'll include everything we do. Like, you'll get access to all the stuff, even stuff that's not normally in the Flip Lifestyle community. So check that out. The waiting list link is there. If you're serious about applying, please don't waste our time. I'm going to be personally going through every application. I'm going to be personally interviewing the first 20 people into the program with our facilitators. And Jocelyn and I will be handpicking the people that do get to be in this group. So check that out. Get on the waiting list now. We will be sending out applications around the end of this month, and the program starts. It opens live on April 28th, and our first mastermind meetings will be the next week. So if you've always wanted a mastermind and you want to make sure you're in the right place with the right people, Jocelyn and I will help you do that at the Flip Lifestyle Life Groups page. Just go check that out right now. All right, I got one more success story from Karen. Karen says, I held my first Q&A in my brand new membership, and it went really, really well. And she put a smiley face. So good job. Way to step out there and lead your community. Those people I know appreciated every minute that you served them, and that is going to go a long way in helping retention. And our last question of the day, hold on, I lost it here. Where did it go? I had a question that I really wanted to answer. Let me read this question. I think this was it. Okay. All right. Cynthia says, first of all, where are the replays? I missed half of this. They're posted inside the Flipped Lifestyle community, and if you register, you'll get a Zoom link where you can watch the replay right now. So check your email for that. Cynthia's question, though, is who would you recommend I talk to in the group that has experience hiring someone from the Philippines to do WordPress website work, ASL teaching resources, etc.? I understand how to hire. I've got some VAs, but want advice on hiring for WordPress in particular to avoid mistakes. I actually would not recommend. What I would recommend you do is I would recommend you get the book Who. I think it's by Jeff Smart. And I would create a job scorecard for that, exactly what you want them to do, your clear expectations of what you want in a WordPress developer. And then I would then go post the job on Upwork or Workable with your clear expectations and filter through them as that book will teach you how to hire people like it's what we used to hire anyway. I don't even ask people anymore, like if they have anybody in mind. I just go through that process, post it on Workable and Upwork. I filter out to my top 10 and we hire great people, right? So I actually wouldn't do that. The only mistakes you'll make with overseas people is you didn't vet them properly. Like make sure they have great experience, make sure they do. It's just hiring is hiring, whether it's overseas or in America. Now, I will tell you this. We don't hire overseas anymore at all. We only hire people in the United States because we can find great people here that we can communicate with in our time zones, and they do amazing work. Right. So actually, Jocelyn and I do not even really hire VAs anymore. If we were going to hire a VA, it would only be to support our people that we have now, like with some more hours. Like if we had overflow, that's how we would hire. But if you want to have an amazing hiring process, get the book Who by Jeff Smart. Awesome book. And use Workable and Upwork, and you can post your job descriptions there. Don't start hiring until you've had 100 people apply. You will on Workable for sure. And then cut it down, filter through to your top 10, interview all of them, cut that to the top 3, interview all of them, and you'll be good to go. Okay. All right, guys. Great member call today. We got a jet. We got some stuff going on. But there's a lot of great places out there for hiring people, a lot of great places for doing stuff. And we actually are only focused on Kajabi right now anyway, because we are trying to cut WordPress out of our life altogether. All right. So awesome call, awesome questions, awesome success stories. One more time, I'm going to drop that link if you want to get on the waiting list. There it is. I'll leave this running for about a minute or two so you can click that link and get to it and check it out. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you guys so much. Great questions today. Always remember that the Flipped Lifestyle community forums are open 24-hour days, 7 days a week. If you're not using the forums, you are wasting your money, because that's the most powerful resource we have inside the community. Don't forget to go and take your next steps inside the Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint this week. Go watch a training today and then take action on it before the next member call, and you will be some of the people that are celebrating successes, because that's what it is all about. So we will see you next time, guys. Thank you so much for everything, for being a part of this community. We love you. We're pulling for you. We're here for you. Take action. Flip your life. We'll see you then. Bye.